CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
One mind, one team, one heart, one player through the hole, one goal from the start to dominate the art of the black and blue and watch your Super Bowl dreams till they all come true.
Wonderful matchup here at the Georgia Dome. Two of the last four standing a year ago. The NFC finalist Falcons against the NFL champion Patriots. Today's game brought to you in high definition by Sony, and it's coming up next. AFC meets NFC. The Patriots 2-2, the Falcons 3-1. And let's go down to the sidelines and our colleague Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
Hey, Jim, believe it or not, Matt Schaub never really got official word that he was starting. We got a pretty good idea back on Friday. Jim Mora told me after practice, I huddled the guys up and I said, Schaubie, go break your team down. Schaub put his hand in the air. All the players followed. They said 1, 2, 3, break. And that was about it. Falcons will tell you how confident they are in Schaub, and one of the big reasons is his familiarity with the offense. Jim, he's been running the same basic system since his sophomore year at the University of Virginia, and he told me before the game, all the reads and the protections and the routes, they all come natural to me.
Michael Vick will cheer him on from the sidelines. Thank you, Bonnie. Schaub drafted in the 3rd round a year ago, where he at Virginia had set virtually every passing mark. And Phil, we're seeing yet again another team trying to find out how they measure against the champions.
It doesn't matter what New England's record is. They're 2-2. The respect, the admiration that every team has for them, and they all get excited about playing 3-time Super Bowl champions in the last 4 years.
It's Allen Rossum from the goal line. And Patrick Pass meets him at the 25. Here he comes, Matt Schaub. He's 6'5", by the way. He has seen significant action in 2 games this year, including the last 2.5 quarters last week in the game against the Vikings. His offensive line very underrated, including Forney on the right side, as this Falcons team leads the NFL in rushing by a bunch. And Warrick Dunn averaging 99 yards a game, 200-yard performances already this season. Will come out with a 2 tight end set, and Dunn running it for a gain of 3. Well, the Patriots last week gave up the most points, 41, in the Bill Belichick era at New England. Of course, one of the touchdowns was a late interception return, but Jarvis Green is in for Richard Seymour. Seymour out with a knee. The wily veteran McGinnis and that linebacking group that Phil says is so key today. And Gus Scott in the Harrison position, his 2nd career start. On 2nd and 7, Schaub connects. It's Jenkins across the 40, and the 2nd-year man out of Ohio State, taken in the 1st round a year ago, takes it for 18 yards.
Jim, we talked about it. We're a little disappointed that Michael Vick is not playing, but I want to see this Atlanta offense. Matt Schaub, he will stay in the pocket. He will throw the football with rhythm more than Mike Vick does. And will the receivers, will we see that, wow, these guys are really good, or will they not be able to meet the challenge and get open?
They're throwing again on 1st down. They're going long, looking for Jenkins, and it's overthrown. Asante Samuel had a play on a pick, and Jenkins is down, but he is slow to his feet. He may have really helped break up an interception.
Well, what they do, the Falcons, they got Matt Schaub, an easy completion, Now they hope the Patriots are thinking run, and if they're thinking run, let's go deep. But the Patriots, burned by big plays, I look for their defense to be a little safer and more cautious than we've seen them in the past. Look at those records. Vic starts. The 1 year he didn't start when he got hurt early. Of course, they fell apart.
On second down, Jarvis Green makes the tackle of Warwick Dunn. Here's your spotlight for the Falcons offense.
Yeah, it is. Michael Vick. Atlanta's will it hurt the run with Vick out. What I mean by that, when he's in there and you run the ball to the right, the defense has to stay on the left in case he keeps it. And the New England defense, can the new faces taking over for all the hurt starters, can they get in there and not make mental errors and give up the big plays, which they did last week against the San Diego Chargers?
Rookie Roddy White is in as a third receiver on 3rd and 9. Jenkins has returned after sitting down a play. And Schaub's pass, it's caught but well short of the first. Brian Finneran. Gain of 7, not enough.
Well, some of the looks I'm sure the New England Patriots had ready for Michael Vick. They said, we're going to use him today for this. Look at this all the way from the back. Look at the movement. People running everywhere. Try to confuse the quarterback. And even though Michael Vick is not in there, that makes it tough on Matt Schaub, too.
Michael Kanan, a rookie punter out of Western Washington, will try to pin the Patriots inside the 20. Troy Brown back to handle it for New England. Beautiful kick, but is it too much? Flies into the end zone, touchback. Brady and the Patriots will begin at the 20. Jim Mora Jr., instant success a year ago, taking his team within 1 game of the Super Bowl. There's his game plan in his back pocket.
Yeah, a lot of people down south, they have a chew in their back pocket. He just has a few plays that he hopes work.
From the 20, New England. First snap of the game, and they complete it over to Dillon. Brooking and others have him after a gain of 5. And for Tom Brady, since 2003, after a loss, he's 5-0. Most recently winning at Pittsburgh after a loss to Carolina. Again, 2 rookies on the left side of the line, Azure and Mankins. And Givens with 15 catches over the last 2 weeks. Been good chemistry between the quarterback and Givens. Second down and 5. And Dillon, some nifty moves. He's a yard shy of the first. This Atlanta defense, 17 sacks, leads the league, 9 of them coming last week. Patrick Kearney was in on a couple of them. He's their top sacker 3 of the last 4 years. Brooking with 4 straight Pro Bowl seasons. And D'Angelo Hall already with picks this season of McNabb, Lossman, and Culpepper. Flecko in the backfield. 3rd down and 1. And Dillon doesn't have it. Brady, Smith, and Patrick Kearney helped clog things.
Well, you're looking to get some momentum if you're the New England Patriots. You stop Atlanta's offense. You come out, you take the field, and you got almost a gimme on a 3rd down run to pick up the 1st down and get that flow going for your team. But the Atlanta Falcons, they gamble. They put everybody up there. They're expecting to run. The New England Patriots running up in there, and they're short.
Josh Miller to boot it away to Rossum. Miller and McBriar of the Cowboys, the only 2 punters in the league who have not forced a fair catch this season until now. Rossum lets it settle. There is a flag down to the 23. Fine 48-yard boot. And will it hold?
I'm not sure it's going to be interference, Jim. The defender for the Patriots might have been blocked in to the returner, and that's what they're trying to decide. Allen Rossum, fair catch.
Well, it was contact, but was he blocked into him?
Absolutely.
Now this Hobbs.
Fair catch interference. Kicking team, number 27. 15-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
All right, Terry McCauley makes the call.
Not only was he blocked into it, he was clipped from behind.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40. Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution. And by new Budweiser Select, brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective.
Bill Belichick and his team, 3 plays and out, and the penalty gets the Falcons start at the 42, and a flag is thrown in as Dunn had scooted for about 6. That penalty.
That's number 74. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, make up for a little of the lost yardage. Ended up being like a 19-yard penalty because the fair catch and the ball eventually being down to the 23 instead moved ahead to the 42. But now they'll subtract 10 yards off the infraction on Weiner. Now Doug Flutie all week long was playing the role of Michael Vick in practice for the Patriots, working to try to help out that New England D. Here we go. Another carry by Dunn. Wilson has him. Meisel as well, and Forney helped clear the way for a gain of 9. So 2nd and 9 coming up. So Flutie plays the role of Vick. The Patriots spend time this week preparing for Michael Vick, and all of that time would end up being, as it turns out, wasted time.
No question. You know, even though they weren't absolutely positive, they thought he might play. Michael Vick, you got to put so much time in. How do we keep him in the pocket? What do we do? So I think when they found out and they had a good idea last night, there's got to be a little frustration on the coaches and the players that we're going to see Vick in the game today.
2nd and 9, man is open, and the catch, no catch. That was touched the ground. Des White would have been about a 35-yard gain. The pass was right there.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons, the numbers are unbelievable about running the football. So you gamble sometimes to stop the run, and it allows receivers to get wide open deep down the field. It was not a terrific throw by Matt Schaub, but it still should have been an easy catch for Des White.
Had he let him a little bit more, it could have been 6, but nonetheless, it was right in his hands. Easily catchable. 3rd down and 9. Jenkins also with a drop. Had split 2 defenders and would have had it inside the 40. A little behind him. Well, he went right between Hobbs and Wilson.
Yeah, it is. Very tough throw by Matt Schaub. He kind of throws it into the strong part of the defense. It's early. He needs a few easy completions to really relax a little more and get used to being a starter in this league. And I think as the game goes on, he'll throw the football much better.
Tim Dwight now. It was Troy Brown on the first punt situation back deep for the Patriots. Now they bring in Tim Dwight, a former Falcon. And Kanan with the kick. Angled. Fair catch. 17-yard line. 41-yard boot. Schaub, 2 series and out. Log on to NFL.com all week long and read Squib Kicks, the new arena for the lighter side of football. Check it out on NFL.com or NFL on AOL. Patriots, 2nd time they've had it. It begins at the 18. Ben Watson lined up as the fullback. Out of the eye, it goes to Dillon. And a hard-earned run here of, call it 4. Here's the spotlight for the Patriots on offense.
The New England Patriots, today is the day. Talk about running it. It all lines up. They're inside. They're against a defense that's small, and the statistics are on the Patriots' sides. Atlanta's defense, they want to show a lot of movement, cat and mouse, try to confuse Tom Brady, and if he wants to change the plays, keep moving around to the very last seconds of the play clock. to make it tough on him.
It's 2nd and 6. Over to Branch, who dives short of the first. We've got an update. Back to Greg Gumbel in the studio.
Jim and Phil in Buffalo. Kelly Holcomb already making a difference starting at quarterback. Lee Evans hooking up for 49 yards. It set up a 1-yard plunge by Willis McGahee. The Bills lead Miami 7-0, just under 10 minutes to play in the first.
All right, thank you, Greg. So Holcomb again in for Lossman. The Falcons had played up in Buffalo just a few weeks back, and they beat up on the rookie, and they beat Buffalo up there. Falcons 3-1 on the year. 3rd and 2 for the Patriots. Great protection. Brady looking for Branch down the field. Makes the catch back on his feet for a couple of extra yards. One-on-one with D'Angelo Hall, and Branch picks up 51.
That play was designed to throw it out in the flat for just a couple yards and pick up the first down. Tom Brady, the running back, the tight end, they're both covered, so he very smart, well prepared, throws it deep, and Deion Branch just outruns D'Angelo Hall to the football. D'Angelo Hall kind of gave up at the last second and then allowed Deion Branch just enough time to pull past him and make the catch.
Branch with a lot of support in the stadium today. He's a Georgia kid. He's got 25 family and friends in the stands today. First down. Dillon down to the 18, and we have another update. Let's send it back to Greg.
All right, guys, this one is in Detroit. Kevin Jones. The Detroit Lions turning an interception into goal. Jones 14 yards for the first rushing touchdown of the season against the Baltimore Ravens. 7-0 Lions, just under 8 minutes to play in the first.
Quick 7 for the Lions, come off that stinging defeat at Tampa last week.
You know, go back to the play. The Patriots, Deion Branch, a chance to make a big play. He does it. The Atlanta Falcons, they missed an opportunity for their big play.
2nd and 5, and Dillon with all that effort picks up the first. Daniel Graham helping find an alley for his running back. And Graham had lined up in the backfield. And we've seen Graham, we've seen Watson line up as a fullback. We've seen Klecko here in the first quarter.
Well, you can kind of see as you watch this game, the Atlanta Falcons, Jim, you talked about it from the very start. Noise, speed, movement, but when they got to line straight up and fight you, sometimes it's hard because they are undersized by NFL standards.
First down for New England, and it's Dillon getting to the corner. Brooking, though, shuts it down, but Dillon steps out at the 6.
And anytime you're undersized, if you got to stay out in the field and you got to keep slugging it out, it's tougher on you. Watch the blocks coming at you. Kazir pulls out, seals it off. Nice block by Patrick Pass, allows Corey Dillon to get outside. And you want to run the football.
Dillon touching it 7 of 9 times. Pass took out a couple of Falcon defenders with his blocking. 2nd and 3. Pass is the tailback. You send Graham over to a wing on the left, and it's Pass. Straight ahead and in for the touchdown. Patrick Pass.
That was a blueprint drive for this New England Patriots football team.
Kid out of the University of Georgia comes home and finds the end zone from 6 yards out.
Power blocking. Daniel Graham, it's a trap inside. They let the defensive lineman come free. He flies across, knocks him out of the hole, and good, tough, hard running by Corey Dillon.
Dillon gets a lot of the ugly work completed, and Pass also gets rewarded for the fine block on the previous play. Picks up the touchdown. Vinatieri adds the extra point, and the Patriots are first on the board at the Georgia Dome. Patrick Pass with the run. The Patriots with the early lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Stanley Tools. Make something great. And by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
Well, the New England offensive line huddles. And Brady helps direct the drive down the field. He's sitting next to Deion Branch, who picked up 56 yards on that 82-yard drive on 2 catches, the one big one. 7-0 New England. Rossum fakes the toss and fails to make it to the 20. He was looking over toward D'Angelo Hall. Branch with a 51-yard reception leads to the pass touchdown. Tomorrow, Dave's all new with Orlando Bloom and music from Alicia Keys. Later in the week, Woody Harrelson, Howard Dean, and New York Knicks coach Larry Brown. Dave all new all this week. From the 19, Schaub rolling out. Warren giving chase, then McGinnis, and he steps out after a gain of about 2.
Well, one of the things Jim, we talked about in the opening, Matt Schaub, 6'5". He was about 245 pounds at the University of Virginia. So when he came out, it was like, well, he's not very athletic. He might be a little slow. Well, he came here. He sees Mike Vick. He's running this offense. He's down about 13 to 15 pounds, running a lot faster, and he will get outside, and he'll pull it down and run when he gets a chance to.
He had 2 long runs last week against Minnesota. 2nd down and 8, and they are backed up a couple with Warwick Dunn. You know, Schaub a year ago in the draft, coming out of Virginia, where he was the ACC Player of the Year 1 year down there, set all the pass records for the Cavaliers. He was the 90th player chosen in the 04 draft and the 5th quarterback overall. The first 4 quarterbacks all went in the 1st round. Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Roethlisberger, Lossman, and then it was Schaub, the 5th QB in that draft.
And his transition, Bonnie Bernstein said at the beginning of the telecast, this offense is identical to the one he ran at Virginia. The exact same words, so that makes it easy.
Flag is thrown. He completes the pass to Crumpler, who is tripped up short of the 1st. But the Patriots were coming after the 2nd-year signal caller.
Tripping. Offense. Number 61. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, what we're seeing so far from the Patriots defense, a lot of movement, some really good blitzes, and they were all designed with Mike Vick in mind. So, Matt Schaub, sorry, you're just going to have to take what they prepared for, and you're going to have to get it now. And if they'd have known all week that he was going to play, they might have spent more energy in trying to cover receivers and hope he makes a mistake throwing the football.
Well, the Falcons, under the direction of Schaub, have had 3 possessions in this 1st quarter, picked up 1 first down. Catch made, fair catch made by Dwight at the 26. That was a 47-yard punt. Tonight on CBS, did a Halloween horror movie lead to a brutal murder? The truth will haunt you on a new episode of the hit drama Cold Case. It's tonight on CBS America's most watched network. Well, they certainly didn't experience anything similar to this a week ago when the Vikings got steamrolled early and did not even score until the 4th quarter. But now the home fans at the Georgia Dome find their team down a quick 7 first quarter.
Hard to say the word Vikings and Patriots in the same sentence.
What a disastrous start it's been for Minnesota this year. Another completion over to Deion Branch. Pickup of 15, working on D'Angelo Hall. You know, the last 3 weeks, Brady's had some milestones. His 100th career touchdown pass, week 2, his 50th win in the regular season as a starter at Pittsburgh, and last week, moving past 15,000 pass yards in his career. He's 4 for 4 in the early going here.
And he's finding Deion Branch, your most explosive player. The Patriots need to find ways to get him the football more.
Corey Dillon. And Dillon running hard again for another 6.
Well, you watch his Patriots offense. Tom Brady said it last night. Or I kind of said it. I said, you guys haven't quite found your rhythm, what you are. And he goes, that's right. They haven't settled into their identity. Last year, few screen passes, a lot of big, powerful Corey Dillon up the middle. And when they threw it, they always had you off guard. So Corey Dillon off to a slow start. We've said it many times. But today is the day to get it going.
It's Dillon shaking away for some early heat and picking up the first. He could have been if he did not make the juke move, dropped for a loss, but instead gained 7. Got away from Lavallee. You know, a year ago, that 109-yard average per game, because he missed a game, was the best average per game by any running back in the league, as he set a personal record and a Patriots team record for rushing in a season. This season, only 1 run.
And the fact, Jim, that he has not run the football well has hurt the tight ends in this New England offense.
It's back to Dillon for no gain.
When you don't run the football very well, play action passes, and the receiver closest to you, that's the tight end. That's how they get open so much. So the tight ends, look at the Patriots, what happened to them. 2004, look at the numbers. 9 touchdowns, only 1 so far. Yards a game, catches per game, everything down dramatically. And I think almost all of it you can attribute to the fact that they have not run the football as well as they'd like.
2nd down at 10. Troy Brown, 3rd receiver. Fake left, go right. There's a tight end. It's Daniel Graham hurtling past his own teammate and running down the sideline. Butting heads and still going. And Daniel Graham is in for a touchdown just after you talked about their lack of production at that position. 45 yards.
That's a different way of getting production on your offense. That was a screen pass all the way. Nice fake by Tom Brady. But what really makes it go is the fact Stephen Neal to the outside. Watch 61. See you later there, Mr. Williams. And that springs him. If you get the first block and allow runner to get his momentum going and get in the open space, Daniel Graham takes advantage of it.
How about after Neal levels the defender, then Graham, showing a lot of savvy there, just hurdles right over his lineman. And then a couple of times butting heads with players like Brian Scott, Keon Carpenter, runs right through him. Falcons had not allowed a first quarter touchdown all year, but now 2 today.
Watch Stephen Neal. He's the guard that pulls outside that really makes this play work. Tom Brady gets him thinking. It's a screen to the left. Just enough hesitation, and what a block on Demoria Williams. Good job by Daniel Graham getting around the guy that's knocked down. And look at the Patriots, how excited they are. And who does us against the world better than the Patriots? You know, Marty Schottenheimer tries to give the Patriots, I thought, compliments, right, Jim? Is that how you read it?
I did. They were offended by Marty's remarks after the game, talking about how banged up the Patriots were last week when they throttled them up in Foxborough.
Well, they were looking for a reason to get fired up, and they just took anything and ran with it.
And Rossum takes a big hit, shy of the 30. Larry Izzo on the special teams hit. It's no secret why CBS is America's most watched network for the 3rd year in a row. And you can catch new hit comedies and dramas and all your favorites that make CBS the #1 network to watch. And don't forget, we've got the Sprint halftime report coming up later from Greg and Dan, Shannon and Boomer with scores and highlights. Week 5 of the NFL season on the Sprint halftime report. Duckett in the backfield for Atlanta. Big back up ahead to the 31. Matt Schaub picked up an early completion to Michael Jenkins that covered 18 yards. Got a sideline route that was actually short of what he needed for the first. And then 2 drops. Des White, this one behind Jenkins, but catchable. And now the Falcons trying to find some sort of rhythm.
Get that rhythm. I think they need to complete some passes down the field. They got to back the Patriots up a little. 14-0. Patriots confident. They're a little cocky, moving around. They're going to be aggressive now.
Encroachment, defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And with 20 seconds to go in the quarter, a 2nd and 2 on the way. As for the Falcon possessions, again, 1 first down coming into this series. That on their first one, their first possession. The pass play to Jenkins. 3 punts, the result all 3 times.
It is amazing what confidence does. 14-0. You can see the body language of the Patriots. They want to come after you and attack.
It's Duckett, and that's enough for the first. However, there is a flag.
Offside, defense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, first down.
14-0 New England after 1. And will return. Well, they're going to go ahead and take the penalty instead of the duck and run, it looks like. In either case, they'll have a first down to open the second quarter. It's twice the Patriots have been offsides on this series.
Of the first quarter.
And there you go. We'll return to the Georgia Dome after these messages. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. We start the second quarter in Atlanta and look at the numbers from quarter number 1. With New England in front 14-0. Falcons enter the quarter though fresh off a first down at the 41. Schaub, long, Finneran, got it, 20. Samuel has him, rides him down at the 6.
Well, you heard me talk about it, that Atlanta has got to throw the football down the field to back up this defense. Nobody in the middle. Ryan Finneran just going down there. He is wide open, and this time, Matt Schaub, what a perfect throw. Perfect spiral, right touch, right on target, and Finneran just punts it out of the air.
And for Finneran, the longest catch of his career. 53 yards. Duckett stays in. Goal to go from the 6. And give him a yard. Meisel and others plugging up the hole.
Well, Jim, let's go back to that last play and just look at it. And I'll show you why they got to throw it down the field. Here's Finneran down here. He's going to go this way. No defensive player will be back deep. It is a really easy read for Matt Schaub. Look at the space. He just throws it out there. Give the receiver a chance, throw it inside, and throw it high.
Crumpler wide to the right with Jenkins and Des White to the left on 2nd and goal. And Schaub on the run, fires, and a flag is thrown. He was looking for Crumpler.
That looked like a hold on the New England defense.
Might have been on Eugene Wilson.
Holding. Defense, number 26. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, when you got to play run defense first, Eugene Wilson on Algie Crumpler. He's 260 pounds, Crumpler is, and he can run too. So that is a tough matchup for Eugene Wilson.
One stat that's been alarming for the Patriots early in the season, before Rodney Harrison got hurt at Pittsburgh, he saw this trending this way and he was concerned. In the red zone, their defense has not stopped anybody this year in 12 trips. 12 trips, 9 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and it's the highest percentage of touchdowns allowed inside the 20 this year. 1st and goal, and here's another touchdown against the Patriots. It's Justin Griffin from Schaub. And he gives the quarterback the souvenir.
Well, that offense had settled down on that play or that series. And it shows you the Patriots, how they have new players on defense. How often do you see receivers just go completely uncovered in the end zone against this Patriots team? Not very often.
Extra point by Peterson. 2nd career touchdown pass for Schaub. He had thrown one in mop-up duty late last year at Seattle. Vick cheers him on. Falcons on the board. Well, down 14. Matt Schaub goes long to Finneran for 53 yards, and then the touchdown toss to Griffith. Bethel Johnson. And swarmed under. And the crowd coming to life here at the Georgia Dome. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Well, Jim, something that Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, said to us on Friday is really ringing true. He said, Matt's one of the most impressive guys I've ever worked with in his second year because of how calm he is under pressure. Just watching him throwing that first touchdown pass, walks back over to the sideline, high-fives a couple of guys, but not even a smile on his face. Walks right over to the bench, sits down, Knapp starts talking about strategy for the next series.
Yep, it was Knapp right between Vic to his left, Schaub to his right, and the crowd is stirred. First down from the 20, and it's Dillon. 6-yard run. What have you seen as the primary reason why the Patriots have not gotten it done rushing the football this year?
Well, Jim, there's a lot of reasons. One, they're playing against some teams that are pretty good at stopping the run. But two, you know, the biggest thing of all is that we don't take into account enough offensive line. They got two rookies on the left side, as Tom Brady says. Even their right tackle is different, so it takes a while for an offensive line to gel and to really get to determine what they are.
2nd and 4. Look at the line blocking here. Dillon not even touched the first 10 yards. Mankins and Patrick Pass helping clear him for 10.
When you build your football team like the Patriots have, they have a big bruising running back. They have a big offensive line that's fairly athletic. This is the matchups that you hope for. Smaller defenses that rely on speed, because when big guys hit those fast guys, they have a hard time getting away from them because of the size difference. And so far, the Patriots really taking advantage of it.
First down, New England from the 37. And it's over to Branch. His 4th catch of the game. Working on Jason Webster, another 12 yards, and Brady's still perfect.
Look at that, lowest percentage of yards gained rushing. The Patriots second lowest in the league. The Philadelphia Eagles, you got to wipe them off, because Andy Reid's probably proud of the fact that they're not getting it done with the running game. The Patriots, they pride themselves in being physical and running it.
Quickly, they swing it over to Gibbons. A lot of hand-to-hand contact with D'Angelo Hall before he's wrestled out at the Atlanta 43. We've got an update. Back to Greg.
Jim and Phil, check out what happened in Detroit. Joey Harrington, most of us thought that this was a forward pass attempt. However, Kevin Jones figures that's a fumble. He picks it up, runs it down to the 28-yard line before the defense can recover. From there, Jones scored his 2nd touchdown of the day. Replay ruled it a fumble. It's 14-0 Lions.
It worked so well, they ought to put it in the playbook.
Never stop until the whistle is blown.
Wow, Kevin Jones with 2 touchdowns already in that one. 2nd and 1. Dillon again. Look at the line today, giving him all kinds of room. That's another 11 for Corey.
Well, you're right, Jim. Up front that time, Logan Mankins and also Daniel Graham coming in motion, kind of the lead blocker. Neal gets a good block up front. And anytime you start breaking runs into the secondary, wide receivers got to get involved too. Look at that. Nobody can get away from the blockers. Once they're making contact, they're like stuck to them.
Pass is the tailback on first down. Fake to him. From behind, Brady is hit by Brady Smith. Eight yards on the sack.
Brady Smith from the outside going against Nick Kazur, just beats him with speed around the edge. A rookie, Kazur, you got to remember, a lot of NFL teams, they don't care, the defensive lineman, if it's a play-action fake. They're rushing the quarterback right from the start, and that's what Brady Smith did that time.
On the other side, the other end, Chauncey Davis of Atlanta is in for Kearney, who hobbled off. 2nd and 18. Brady unloads, and Givens had it in his hands. Dropped it on the hit by Hall. More pressure on the quarterback by Hartwell.
A blitzer comes free. Tom Brady sees it. Watch Tom Brady. He knows he's going to get hit. Gets rid of the football. It's right on target, but the ball is thrown so softly, David Givens just mistimes it.
That's the first incompletion of the game for Brady. It should have been caught. 3rd and 18. Troy Brown shakes free, 1 tackle, but knocked down on the 2nd hit by Brady Smith and Jason Webster.
It's a screen play to Troy Brown. They run it because they're trying to get a few yards so they can kick a field goal. That's what Bill Belichick was hoping for. But it plays into the hands. Sometimes when you throw it outside, you're playing against a defense like Atlanta. They can run. That's what they want you to do. Finesse them so they can outrun you.
They had been in field goal range at the start of that set of downs, but the 8-yard sack by Brady Smith, the big play, and now comes Miller with Rossum standing at the 10. A lot of air under this one. Rossum lets it go, and Bantakane with a flag. Bantakane fields it for New England.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Receiving team, the fair catcher signaled and then blocked illegally. First down after half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
We'll see how Schaub reacts to starting this next series inside of his own 5. 14-7 New England.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's. Do great taste at a low price. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right. DirecTV. NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV. And by the all-new 2006 Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command.
We'll start at the 4. The call was against Rossum. Makes the fair catch signal, and then little contact there with Lonnie Paxton, but it was contact, so it drops him back in the extra 4. The 8 to the 4, and the pass to Cutler led him too much.
Well, to go back to that penalty, Jim, you can't ask officials to start judging, well, it wasn't that bad, it was okay, he didn't hurt him. You make the attempt, it's a penalty because they're trying to protect players. And going back to that first play, Atlanta has figured it out. New England is up at the line of scrimmage, and they are aggressive to stop the run, throw it down the field.
They had the 1 hook up with Finneran. They had a drop ball that would have been a gain of about 35 by Des White. And Crumpler was open on that occasion. 2nd down and 10, and a good piece of running here. Warrick Dunn gets 8 yards. We have an update, and send it back to you, Greg.
All right, Jim and Phil in Detroit. The Ravens trying to get back into this game, but Anthony Wright finds Dre Bly for the 2nd time today. Bly, his 2nd interception for the Lions. It's still 14-0 Detroit. Under 11.5 to play in the first half.
Wow. You know, that was Kyle Bowler's fault. Come on.
Yeah, but why was Dre Bly running that one out of the end zone? Did you see there was no angle? There was no room. He puts Harrington and his offense on the 2-yard line. Get the pick, sit down. On 3rd and short, and there is a first down gained by Warrick Dunn.
Boy, you look at Warrick Dunn, and he's so small. And we met him on Friday, and you just go, wow, this is an NFL running back. Because he's not tall and he's not real heavy, but look at his body. As their strength coach Al Miller said to me, he might not have big arms and big muscles, but he has the legs of Bo Jackson. And they're big, they're powerful, and even though he's small, he brings it in there because of his speed, his strength, and quickness. He can deliver the blow.
It's a big save right there for the Falcons. First down now at the 16. Schaub, McGinnis chasing after him. He tucks it under. And he's out at the 15. That'll go in the books as a sack. Warrick Dunn may be small, but he has a big heart. The Walter Payton Award winner, the humanitarian award for the league, came into this game averaging almost 100 yards per game. He told us on Friday, Phil, that he would like to think that this might be his career year.
Well, Jim, it started out that way, and I'll say this about him. I don't know what it was I said to him late Friday, but it will never change for him. Every game, every season, he has to prove himself because he's small. Because if it's not a good game, it's for one reason. Well, you know, he's not big enough. Well, you know, he's not strong enough, whatever. So Warrick Dunn's always going to have that chip on his shoulder as a player, and he's going to prove you wrong every single week if he can.
Jarvis Green of the Patriots is down after the 3-yard carry by Dunn. Green in today, substituting for Richard Seymour, who is out inactive with a knee. We'll be right back. Jarvis Green appears to be just fine. Mike Wright is in the lineup. 3rd and 8 for the Falcons. Already converted 3rd down in this series once. It's done. Makes the cut move, a second move, and has it first. This is what Bill Belichick told us was a real killer last week against San Diego. We could not get off the field on 3rd down, he told us. And they've now converted twice on this drive.
Well, there's no doubt this look they just gave him. It's a Michael Vick blitz. They bring in some linebackers. They try to surround him. But since Vick is not in there, defenders are getting a little too aggressive, and they're losing their containment and their rules. It allows Matt Schaub to get outside, and Warrick Dunn, he can take nothing and make it into something.
Well, that was all Warrick Dunn who gets the carry. And he is hammered down at the 32. And Greg, a busy day in New York.
All right, Jim and Phil, in Buffalo, the Bills had 3 touchdowns all season long on offense. This is their second today. Kelly Holcomb, 2 yards to Eric Moulds. 17-0 Bills over Miami in the second quarter.
Wow, what a different look it is with Holcomb operating that Bills offense. And on the other side, we'll see where Ronnie Brown has -6 yards rushing. The Dolphins will get Ricky Williams back next week. 2nd down, Crumpler makes the catch, and a big stride for the first at the 45. You can visit CBS Sportsline tonight for a complete wrap-up of all of the day's action with video highlights, in-depth analysis from our team of experts, only at CBSSportsline.com.
Algie Crumpler watched the tape of last week's game. He saw Antonio Gates have a terrific day, and he says, man, let's copy some of those plays.
Let's bring it on. First down again, they go down the field, and Jenkins overthrown and almost intercepted by Starks. You know, this is a New England defense that has allowed 4 pass plays over 40 yards coming in. They've had another big one today, over 50.
Well, this is another one. Michael Jenkins, 12, is to the inside. He has got the defensive back beat. And Matt Schaub, he's going to learn. You can never throw the football across the field too much when it comes to a deep pass. I don't know what it is, but all quarterbacks, I did it, you tend to throw it down the field instead of across.
2nd down and 10, and Dunn. Dunn is about a yard shy of the first, maybe 2. Lair and Forney, the guards, helping him on that one.
Watch Warrick Dunn as he runs. Just watch all the little movements, like little hops. Let me just move around here. A little quick move there, and it is quick, it's fast, and it's powerful. And he, of course, experience. Look at, wow. That was awesome.
Sanders-esque, Barry Sanders.
It is, except he's going forward even faster than Barry Sanders used to.
So 3rd and 1 again. This has been a troublesome spot for the Patriots, and again, they're unable to make the stop on the 3rd down.
Jim Moore becomes the head coach. He hires Greg Knapp as offensive coordinator. He brings in Alex Gibbs as the offensive line coach from Denver, and they run it one way, and the way they trick you up is they do play action passes the other. And as Greg Knapp says, as he was interviewing, or he got interviewed by Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, who's now a part-time coach. What are you going to do? Stop the run or stop our pass?
Jarvis Green is back in on that defensive front for New England. And first down, Schaub, a great pickup on the blitz. Frees him for the pass to Crumpler to the 22. Beisel was coming in after the quarterback, and little Warrick Dunn took out the linebacker. Set up a 23-yard pass play, and Gus Scott is shaken up.
This is a pass that would not happen probably if Michael Vick was in there. Algie Crumpler's going to come across, and he gets to fight his way through the whole defense to the guy that's covering him past the linebacker, because Matt Schaub stays in the pocket, very patient, and can see the backside window to make the completion.
Scott, another reserve coming into the season, in for Harrison. He is shaken up, and we'll be back to Atlanta in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 40.
This is some impressive drive for the Falcons that started back at the 4. 13th play of the drive coming up. First down from the 21 of New England. Trying to drive in for a tying touchdown. Swing it over. Dunn gets away from the first hit and has another first. A goal to go at the 9. Broke Chad Brown's attempt.
You know what this is? This is one of those times Coach Belichick and his staff says all week, hey, this Warrick Dunn, he's quick, he's fast. And everybody goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then you get on the field and you go, oh my gosh, he's quicker than we thought. And he's powerful.
And again on the season,
13 trips. Jim, look at that. 9 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Hard to be a big-time winner in the league when you got those kind of numbers.
And that's done to the 5. It'll be second and goal from there. James Sanders active this week, and he makes the tackle.
You know, you look at Warrick Dunn, and what did he say to us? You know, he's small. How do you take the beatings? And he goes, well, I go down. He goes, I always learn. When the journey's over, end it, man. Go down. And that's kind of how he runs. If you watch this game so far, he gets down before he really gets smashed by those extra defensive players.
He has had some series right here. The third down conversions, he's got all 3 of them, the tough yards. We've reached the 2-minute warning. 14-7 Patriots. Tuesday, Emmy winner, The Amazing Race. Take a wild ride as teams fight through a mud bog and fly like astronauts. An exciting new Amazing Race Tuesday on America's #1 network, CBS. Work done on this drive. 56 total yards. Again, it started back at the 4. So they have second and goal from the 5. Fake the toss with pressure, and Schaub just gets it away as James Sanders was blitzing.
I thought this time there could be intentional grounding by the quarterback. He is definitely in the pocket, and who's he throwing it to? I think the Atlanta Falcons definitely got away with one that time.
So another third down. Brian Finneran has come into the huddle. Jenkins and Roddy White also as receivers. And the Patriots stop him on third down here in the red zone. Schaub, yes, the Patriots get to the quarterback. It's Colvin with the sack at the 17.
Well, they're staying with it, Jim. The pressure. They line up. It looks like they're going to blitz the quarterback. Colvin coming from the outside. Matt Schaub just has to hold the football too long, and he is able to overpower Warrick Dunn. You know, Warrick Dunn can slow him down, but he's not going to stop a guy that much bigger than him.
Colvin, one of the names you mentioned today that has to be called often for the Patriots cause, along with McGinnis and Vrabel.
And in situations just like that, third down, they got him matched up against a running back. You've got to win that battle.
Todd Peterson comes out. The Patriots have called a timeout. 1:29 to go in the half. Tomorrow on CSI Miami, a murderer's confession turns the investigators against each other in a shocking new episode of Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami. That's tomorrow on CBS, here on the top network in the nation. So bring Todd Peterson out for a try from about 33 yards. He's 5 for 5 on the season. Schaub is the holder and the former 49er kicker. And to keep his season perfect. 33, and the kick is good. 17-play drive, nets 3. 14-10 Patriots late first half. Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report. Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer with the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up. Sprint halftime report. Kanan will kick. And the Patriots, with a 14-0 first quarter, have seen the Falcons 10-zip second quarter. Beautiful boot, and Bethel Johnson not even thinking about it. Touchback out to the 20. Well, after a long pass to Deion Branch, Patrick pass covers the last 6 yards. Then Daniel Graham was a runaway train on the 45-yard touchdown reception. 14-0. But then Schaub to Griffith. 2-yard touchdown toss. And Peterson just moments ago adds 3 from 33. Patrick Kearney heading into the locker room early. So is Willie McGinnis for the Patriots. Brady so tough in the last 2 minutes of the half. We'll start from the 20. With heat. And a flag is thrown late in the area of that pass. That's Chauncey Davis who leveled the quarterback. Davis replacing Kearney.
Pass interference, offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's called on Ben Watson, former Georgia Bulldog and #1 pick for the Pats a year ago.
Well, Ben Watson did pass. Once it goes past 5 yards, he's doing the pushing. He extends his arms, and once you extend those arms, that's an easy call for the officials.
Now 1st and 20, and Atlanta, with its full allotment of timeouts, might want to start thinking about how to handle this the last minute 21.
This has got to be a screen or a draw is what I would think.
Brady likes drives that start with 1:21, as we found out at Pittsburgh and in a Super Bowl down in New Orleans. But here, this pass intended for Patrick pass falls incomplete.
Dick Vermeil, when we did the opening game of the year, Jim, do you remember he comes in with a lot of numbers. But when you're in a 2-minute drill or situations at the end of the game you're trying to score, if you get the first down, your chances of scoring are like 80-some%. Well, the Patriots, they get a penalty. Their chances, man, they go down to almost 0. Now they're just trying to get rid of the clock and not give Atlanta a chance for their 2-minute offense.
So they're going to run it with Dillon to burn up some clock, and a timeout, I'm sure, coming quickly. Here it is from Atlanta. Chris Cash makes the hit after 5 yards. 1:10 left in the half. Next Saturday, doubleheader on CBS. Alabama takes on Ole Miss, and then Florida and LSU. And you'll see it all starting at noon next Saturday. 3rd down, 3rd and 15 for the Patriots. Stay on the ground with Dillon. And unable to make it all the way to the 20. Again, Chris Cash with a 2nd straight tackle, and the Falcons use their 2nd timeout. Boy, did this turn around. Now Atlanta will get a chance before the intermission.
That's always the chance you take. When you start a 2-minute drive on the 20, it can backfire sometimes. Good job by Corey Dillon. He could have got around the edge and probably got about 3 or 4 more yards, but very cognizant of the situation. Goes down, make Atlanta use their last timeout.
Allen Rossum, one of the best in the return game. Here you see rush yards, 51 by Atlanta, the runaway leader in the league through 4 weeks in rushing, and coming off 280 plus a week ago in the win over Minnesota. That was the most rushing yards by a team in the league in 36 weeks of action back to the 2002 season and second week of that year.
Patriots gambling, Jim, just those stats. They're saying hit the deep pass and go back up.
Big spiral, beautiful kick. Miller, Rossum from the 27. Wants to go wide left. There's some room. Rossum has a whole lot of room. Patrick pass with the angle, and there is a flag near midfield. And Rossum doesn't know it. He ran it 50 yards back.
It was the original block as Rossum went around the corner. It was a double team by the Atlanta Falcons.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 98. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ike Reese called for that.
Ike Reese, it's going to be to your left as he comes around. There it is.
Ike Reese over to help one of his teammates who looked like alone. The other Falcon may have been able to handle that block. But instead of being inside the 20, the Falcons with 45 seconds and a shotgun formation from the 25, their own 25. It's a 52-yard penalty, if you will. It cost them. Open man is Finneran. He's got good yardage to the 43. Hurry up with 30 seconds approaching. That one gained 18. Roddy White, and it falls incomplete. Asani Samuel had the coverage.
I always think, I'm watching it, I was watching the clock. 14 seconds to run the second play. You get that big first down. Once it goes past so many yards, call the timeout.
You figure they need to get somewhere around the 33-yard line of New England for a comfortable try for Todd Peterson. 20 seconds and only one timeout left. Schaub, he does throw it. Unleashing it for Finneran. Fingertips for a moment, but Starks helped jar it loose.
Well, what a job by Finneran, Jim, as Schaub broke the pocket. He is running to the outside, and he immediately sees it. Watching the top of the screen. There he is. Oh, he sees the quarterback move, and he turns right up the sideline and almost makes a terrific catch. But that's being alert to the situation and knowing when the quarterback sprints your way, turn up the sideline and look for the big play.
Got three speed burners to the left with Roddy White, Des White, and a timeout called by New England before the snap.
Now, New England takes their second charge timeout.
Belichick calls him over. The NFL.com poll of the week. Here it is. If you had to pick right now, which of these teams with a current winning record has the best chance to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 40? Bengals, Broncos, Colts. Well, Dolphins, been ugly for them so far today. Or the Steelers. Or none of the above. You can cast your vote at NFL.com.
How about if I just refuse to answer it? Is that none of the above?
Well, you don't have time to go online. We're going to give you a free pass. You've got work to do. You don't want to have to put your neck out on the line week 5 anyway.
You know, it's just predictions. You know what I think about them.
See what they can do here. Seconds to go in the half. Vrabel hammers the quarterback. Finneran gets the catch at the 40 with 6 seconds. And Schaub back to his feet. He took a nasty hit. Clean hit, but a big one by Vrabel.
Oh, Mike Vrabel, what a job. He just, such a veteran, disguised his blitz just enough, picked the open spot, and he, like you said, he leveled Matt Schaub, and what a throw by Matt Schaub.
Atlanta now calls the timeout with 6 seconds to go.
And here's why. They don't need that timeout now, because they're going to throw either a quick route to the sideline and hope they can get it done in 3 to 4 seconds, or they just go ahead and try the 56-yard field goal, or 57 from this point. And I think Matt Schaub needed a timeout.
He needed some time to recover from that licking.
Boy. Mike Vrabel, you know what they think about that when a linebacker hits you that way? They don't even care it's a sack, because he goes, man, that was good. That felt great.
It is not coming out for the attempt. It is not Todd Peterson. It's Michael Kanan, the punter who handles the kickoff chores. The rookie from Western Washington will attempt one from 58 yards.
Indoors, I always say indoors, take 6, 7, 8 yards off the attempt. I look at this as just a 50-yard attempt by the Atlanta Falcons. No wind, nothing to resist the football.
Schaub to hold. Kanan the kick from 58 yards, and a timeout was called. So the kick was wide, but the Patriots now are saying we didn't want it. Roosevelt Colvin is pleading, but the Patriots and Vic is.
New England takes their third and final charge timeout.
New England, they actually got a rule about this. Mike Vrabel watching. That's a timeout. He waited to the last second. You remember last year they're playing the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes. 2 of the season. In that case, they didn't have any timeouts.
Didn't have any timeouts. That's right. So now they're going, oh, man, we didn't. Yeah, of course they didn't want it. I always know what's right and wrong after the fact.
How about for Kanan? You got a chance to leg it out once. A misfire, but at least you got a little feel for it. And now the second chance.
The old second shot in golf, right? Is that what it is?
A mulligan.
Well, he had plenty of leg. The distance was not a problem.
This time, how about that? From 58 yards, it's good. How about that? The timeout cost the Patriots 3 points.
Well, the Falcons are all running off the field. They think it's halftime, but there is 1 second left. And Jim, as you said, the mulligan, he adjusts just a little bit, gets it up in the air, and it goes through with plenty of distance to spare.
Michael Kanan. He has the longest punt in the NFL this year, the longest punt of 67 yards, and now he has the 58-yard field goal. Which is the second longest in Atlanta team history. Morton Anderson one time had one from 59 yards. He misses that mark by 1. I saw Vic when they called the timeout on the first try, and he was over there just having a good time with it, laughing, because he realized that they got away with a missed try, and that the Patriots were now trying to say, wait, we didn't want that one. 14-13, New England. Kanan back in the kick with a squibber, fallen on by Michael Stone. So, by the way, Kanan's kick, not only the second longest in Atlanta history, it's the longest in the league this year. He's got the longest field goal, and he's got the longest punt. Let's go back down to Bonnie.
I take credit for it.
All right, I want to know, Jim Moore, if you take credit for that decision to let your punter kick the field goal.
No, that was a coaching staff decision. It was a good decision. No, I like it.
Your quarterback, Matt Schaub, kind of got in a groove early in the second quarter. How is he able to find all those open lanes?
I'll tell you what, Matt's just got poised. You know, he's a confident kid. We've got confidence in him. We fell down 14-0, and he just kind of kept our rhythm going. So we'll see what happens in the second half. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be fun.
Pretty impressive.
You having fun?
I'm having a great time. You having a good time?
All right, I'm having a great time.
We're all happy down here. Jim, back up to you.
Yes, and you having a good time too, Phil?
Yeah, it's just a great party here.
It's a good one. Atlanta with 10 points over the last minute 25 of the half. 14-13 Patriots. Sprint halftime report coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We are back at the Georgia Dome with New England leading by a point. Third quarter about to begin. First 14 to the Patriots. 13 and unanswered by the Falcons in the second quarter. What would we look for?
Well, you know, the first half, just talking about it, when Matt Schaub really settled into the game, their offense really started clicking, and they moved it up and down the field. Everything is in play, the run game and the pass. For the Patriots, they played well on offense. They tried to protect their defense, but I think you said it a couple of times in the first half. New England, third downs. They cannot get off the field. That hurt them.
Take a look at the first half numbers, Phil, and what stands out to you?
Well, Jim, it's the tale of two different quarters. The first quarter, look at the numbers for the Patriots. 14 points, 164 yards. They did nothing in the second quarter. And then look what the Falcons did. 172 total yards in the second quarter.
All right, before we kick it to New England, let's bring in Bonnie Bernstein.
I asked Bill Belichick, Jim, if he thought he was at a competitive disadvantage, not really knowing that Matt Schaub was going to play. He said he didn't really think so, but in the second half, obviously the secondary, the defense in particular, has to do a better job plugging up some of those deep passing lanes Schaub was able to capitalize on. One quick injury for the Falcons. Patrick Kearney is questionable with a muscle strain on his side. We'll keep you posted on that, Jim.
All right, Bonnie, thank you. And again, we're brought to you in HD, and Kanan kicks it away to Bethel Johnson. And Johnson wrapped up at the 22-yard line by Brian Scott. How about the fantasy notebook from the first half? Branch with big numbers. Finneran as for the quarterbacks. Brady 8 of 10. Big hookup with Branch. Touchdown toss he had to Graham. Dillon was 76 yards. He's already topped his best game of the season coming in. 63 had been his high. Crumpler with 3 catches. He's got a minimum of 3 in every game this season.
Deion Branch with 4 catches. Can they get him involved in the game again?
Brady comes out with the toss, and it's Graham wide open. D'Angelo Hall has the angle and chops him at the 33. Ran away from Hartwell, did Daniel Graham, and he now has 2 big catches today.
This must have been a play at halftime. They said, let's run the play action pass and let's get Daniel Graham deep down the field. They had to see it in what the Atlanta Falcons defense was doing wrong. And you talk about halftime adjustments. It's talked about and said too often, but I guarantee you that's a play they said, let's start out the second half with it. It's going to be there.
That's the second time today Graham has picked up 45 yards on a catch. The other one went for a touchdown. From the 33 of Atlanta. For the quick strike, it's Watson, the other tight end, and a touchdown. 2 plays and a touchdown for New England.
There is the tight end in the passing game. Back-to-back plays and different tight ends. Something they did so much of last year. They love to when they get in the scoring zone. Once they get inside about the 40-yard line, they like to throw deep inside routes, seam routes they call them, to their tight ends.
Ben Watson with his first touchdown of the season. First it's Graham, second play it's Watson. And Brady takes no time before most of the fans can even get back in their seat from the concession stand. A minute and 1 second into the second half. Patriots back up by 8. Tom Brady with his second touchdown pass of the game. He goes 45 yards to Daniel Graham, matching the length of their touchdown hookup in the first half. backs it up with a 33-yard touchdown toss to Benjamin Watson with his first career touchdown in the NFL, coming back to Georgia where he starred down the road at Athens. Rawson with the run back to the 27. And we'll see Schaub and the Falcons on offense for the first time in the half.
Well, here's Ben Watson. He's covered by Ike Reese, but there's another tight end in there, and that makes the Falcons really crowd the line of scrimmage, and it allows Ben Watson to get down the field against Ike Reese. Ben Watson, terrific athlete. Watch Tom Brady, play action, looks left, turns right, and that makes the safety go to the left when he looked that way, and it makes it an easy throw for a touchdown. Good job, good thought, and good execution.
Schaub steps up in the pocket to get away from heat, and he is sacked. Jarvis Green in the bottom of that. McGinnis. Willie McGinnis. We had a chance to visit with Willie last night. We got a player injured. And it's Schaefer, Kevin Schaefer, the left tackle of the Falcons, but we'll take a break with them. 21-13 New England.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream. And by the Ford Explorer. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Back in Atlanta, and Kevin Schaefer, 76. As Vince Wilfork brings over 350 pounds in at that lower knee inadvertently. Pass behind Jenkins. So third down coming up for Atlanta. They brought in now Barry Stokes, number 79, on that left side, left tackle, to replace Schaefer.
And I see Kevin Schaefer on the sideline, Jim. He's running around and moving. I expect him to come back into the game.
Tell you who has not returned since getting injured mid-second quarter is Patrick Kearney. He's out there still running around a little bit on the sideline, but he was not in on those two plays defensively for the Falcons to open up the second half. Third down, 3rd and 12. The blitz, the pass, again in the area of Jenkins. Schaub hit the deck again as Colvin and McGinnis crushed him.
Well, Jim, watch this defense. Look at the last second. You see somebody go back at safety. They're all moving around. As one coach said to us last year, sometimes when you play New England, it's like looking at spaghetti on a plate. Man, it just slides everywhere and they're moving. And you got to be really confident in what you've studied and try to accomplish coming into the game. And it's going to work when you go out there against a defense that moves around.
Keenan in on 4th and 12. There was pressure influencing that kick. It's fielded by Dwight at the 27, and he pays for it. Lowe brings him down. Tom Brady over 200 yards passing for the 7th straight game. Mr. Cool has 2 touchdown passes and has his Patriots in front by 8. Straight ahead and in for the touchdown. Here's another touchdown. First down, New England at the 27. Brady picking apart the Falcons in only 2 plays on the last series. And it's Dillon for no gain. Antoine Lake with the first hit. After the first drive in this half, they eclipsed the mediocre numbers of a week ago in the second half against San Diego. And of course, last week in that game as well, they didn't score in the second half. Took them a minute into the 3rd quarter to put points on the board today. 2nd down and 10. It's Dillon. And Brooking bumps him out, but 3rd down coming. 3rd and about 2. All right, Bonnie, what's the latest?
Patrick Kearney's heading back onto the field right now, Jim. You should see him on the edge of the sideline lobbying pretty much anybody who would talk to him to go back in. He's got that strained muscle on his side, but as you know, he's one of the real emotional leaders of this team. Fortunately for the Falcons, defensive line is one of their deepest units. They rotate 7 guys.
The crowd rising. 3rd down and 2. Dillon depends on the spot. Ooh, it's not a very generous spot at all for New England.
No, I looked the whole way. It looked like he was short. The Patriots have been changing it up, doing some different things on 3rd down and short. It's Brady Smith, the penetration. It makes Corey Dillon slow up just enough. There he is on the outside. And what did he tell you on Friday about when he gets the crowd roared up and everything, Jim? What did he say?
All those histrionics on the field. He said, "That's my evil twin brother."
Yes,
my mother says to me, says, "Patrick, what is that all about?" He said, "Well, that's my evil twin."
Quiet guy off the field.
Yes, he is. Mild-mannered.
Quite exuberant on it.
Miller on 4th and less than a yard. Should not have called for the fair catch that time, and he knows it. 46-yard punt by Miller.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the United States Army, an army of one. And by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call.
Thursday on Survivor, temperatures are over 100 degrees, and some of the toughest contestants are struggling to survive. Can ex-NFL quarterback Gary Hogeboom take the heat? It's television's #1 reality show. It's Survivor Thursday on America's #1 network. Warwick Dunn, look at all that bobbing and weaving out to the 25. Matt Lair helped give him some room for a gain of 6.
I think Bill Belichick said it right. It's like it's a pinball machine. It just goes everywhere. And what has impressed me, he makes those quick moves. It doesn't slow him down, and he can still be going forward like he never made the move or slowed down. It's really shows you that he has a lot of athletic talent.
52 yards on the ground today for Dunn. Going to give him 2 more. By Warren. It's a stop to it. 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Falcons.
Dunn has had some day. That was an inside run that he took outside. And even though we keep talking about it, even though he's small by NFL standards, the Patriots knew, even though that he was willing to take it up in there, and he runs hard and tries to get a couple tough yards when he needs them.
3rd down and 2. They need a couple of tough yards. Trying to get it up top. It's Crumpler. He's backed up. And how about the spot this time?
They'll be short again.
By a full yard, Gus Scott and Monty Beisel drove him back.
That was just good defense. They saw what they were trying to do. Crumpler coming across the field. They just wait for the catch, and they just drive right through it. Gus Scott, what a tackle.
Michael Kanan with a 48-yard punt today, his longest. His best kick, the 58-yard field goal to close out, well, with a second to go in the first half. At the 25 after a 47-yard boot. 21-13, Patriots coming back onto the field. And if you're looking for a little Falcons defense, put this man in another uniform. Put all that energy on the field. They are gassed up, ready to go here in the great city of Atlanta. Can their defense make something happen with New England controlling this 3rd quarter with the quick strike touchdown? Starting this series from the 26, Corey Dillon, now over 10,000 on his career with this carry. Becomes the 18th player in NFL history, does Corey Dillon, with that run, to eclipse 10,000 in his career.
Well, he had some help that time from David Givens on the outside. He's going to come in, gets the block. His guy's block, gets in the way of another defender, and allows Corey Dillon to get outside and get over 10,000 yards.
After the gain of 12, first down and the quick toss. It's David Givens. D'Angelo Hall wouldn't let him get away, but a 5-yard gain it is.
That is a play that is not called. That is just done strictly through eye contact between Tom Brady and David Givens, or any receiver if the defender is too far off. And they've done a good job once they catching it of picking up 5 and 6 yards.
Fans might remember they did just that on that same side, Brady and Givens, in the AFC Championship game last year at Pittsburgh, and it resulted in a touchdown. 2nd and 5. And over to Patrick Pass. Falcons close in, but Pass has the first. Tom Brady with a 50-16 record in the regular season as a starter. And he was asked this week, he was telling us about this last night, Bill Belichick had the quarterbacks in a room and said, guys, can you tell me the only quarterbacks, this was because Vinny Testaverde was the talk of the league in many places, the only quarterbacks over 40 to ever start in the NFL.
And they all gave their answers and everything.
And there was one in the room.
One in the room, and none of them said Doug Flutie. And it's the weekly trivia question by Bill Belichick.
Over to Tim Dwight. And very little there. To Mario Williams after a gain of a yard.
So it's a weekly trivia question. And of course, you can imagine Bill Belichick's response when nobody says Doug Flutie. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Well, so you had, though, for the record, you had Warren Moon, you had Steve DeBerg, you had Doug Flutie a couple of years ago.
Yep, 2 years ago did it, and Vinny Testaverde, who is starting today for the New York Jets.
Has his Jets in front, by the way, late third quarter, 14-9. There's Patrick Kearney jumping across, but he's pointing at Stephen Neal.
Number 68, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
This is something that they actually keep the stat of false starts by the opposing team offense in this building. Usually they can credit it or attribute it to a raucous crowd. Not that the crowd was really worked up at that time.
Jim, but it says a lot. And I asked Patrick Kearney about the crowd noise. It eliminates a lot of communication with linemen. The quarterback can't holler out the signals. It helps pass rushers.
Timeout Brady. Kearney was talking about how the defense actually has to practice. They have the defense practicing with the pumped-in crowd noise.
They learn to communicate with hand signals. We heard it at practice. It's annoying. I don't like it, but it helps the team.
Figures that crowd noise is worth like a half a step when it's really going, and that half a step can make such a world of difference, like last year when they had 9 sacks last week against Minnesota, that is. Tomorrow on CBS, all new, beginning with TV's best lineup of comedies, King of Queens, the new hit, How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men Out of Practice, and Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami, plus The Late Show, David Letterman. That's all tomorrow here on America's most watched network. Tom Brady started this game hitting his first 7. And now he's 6 for 6 in this quarter. 2nd down and 14. Bethel Johnson added into the receiving core. Brady, a lot of air under this one. It's Bethel Johnson, and Johnson in for the touchdown. 55 yards.
Tom Brady got every bit of that throw. And so few quarterbacks in this league now can even make it like this. He dropped back in a play-action fake, and he threw it as high and as far as he could throw it. And defensive cornerbacks see it so few times now because nobody throws it high like that. They have a hard time, I think, finding the ball and then adjusting to it. And a terrific execution by Brady and Bethel Johnson, who saw the football all the way and stayed right with it.
That's the first time today that Bethel Johnson came in on offense. He's only been a special teams player. They came in with this play ready to go.
Watch Brady. Watch how high how he braces himself and just rips it straight up in the air. Play action fake. He knows he's going there. I saw the look. And he just slings it up in there. And watch the corner. Jason Webster. They look for the ball. It can't be that far down the field. Yes, it is. Twice today. Twice. The corners for the Atlanta Falcons have given up on the play, and both times the Patriots turned them into big plays.
For Bethel Johnson, only his second catch of the season. Had only one snag coming in for a mere 3 yards. And this time they get the big one. 55 yards for the touchdown.
Tom Brady says this offense, we haven't found out quite what we are. The rhythm, all those sayings. Today they have Corey Dillon, hard running, and when you throw it with a purpose. A few little screens, a few little tricks, but mostly down the field looking for the big plays, and they are making them work.
Tom Brady, by the way, has never lost playing in a dome. 8-0 coming in, and he was talking about it last night, how much he loved it. Of course, when you talk about all the cold weather and bad weather games he has to compete in,
like throwing in a vacuum.
Is what he said. Ball goes where you want it to go, as we've seen today.
It's a good feeling.
We've got another update. Let's go back to Greg in the studio in New York.
All right, Jim and Phil in Buffalo. The Miami Dolphins have gotten on the board. Gus Frerotte to Will Heller, 1 yard and a touchdown with the extra point. It's now 17-7. Bills lead, coming up on 3 minutes to play in the third.
All right, Greg, Miami coming into the week, coming off a bye, in first place early in the season in the AFC East.
Look at Brady, what he's done. Jim, just to go back, he just says it isn't even fair to throw in a dome, to know that you got perfect conditions every week. Or throw down in Miami. Come on. That's easy stuff.
Michael Jenkins and Asante Samuel knocked it out of his hands. Let's go right back to New York for an update.
Jim and Phil, somewhere a father is smiling. Walter Payton's son, Jared, from 5 yards out for his first NFL touchdown to give Tennessee a 17-9 lead. 4 minutes to play in the third.
Wow, how about that? Isn't that wonderful?
It is wonderful. Jared Payton, he's done it the hard way. Had to sit on the bench at the University of Miami for many years. Played in NFL Europe. Just being tough and competitive has made him survive in the league.
Second down at 10. And Schaub. And there's a flag. Walked out at the 29. Boy, Jared Payton last week just came off the practice squad. Got some late carries in Tennessee's game and looked very impressive in seeing the action today. Enough quality action to score the touchdown.
Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Would it be a cameraman? You ever thought about it?
Uh-oh. Jimmy Kimmons on the wrong end of that one.
But he's back up.
But you know I like? He never let go of the camera, kept shooting, took the contact. That was a good job. Planted his, Mike Arnold on the record said he planted his feet and he took the blow like a man. Right away.
Second down over to Finneran. And he just gets it out to the 23. Might add that Kevin Schaefer is back in the game, injured earlier in this quarter.
Well, this Atlanta Falcons offense, they need a first down. They need some repetition, some confidence, and to get this New England defense guessing again, like they had them going in the second quarter, guessing at what is going to come next. I always say, make a defense react. Don't let it attack, because when it attacks, that's when they're at their best.
Third down and 12.
3 down linemen. Here they come again.
Here comes Rebel. Dunn picks him up. Looking down the field for Ronnie White. And there's a lot of contact, and here's the flag. Going to be against Asante Samuel.
Well, the Falcons are really looking for. They did this in practice on Friday, looking for ways to throw it deep down the field.
Pass interference, offense. Number 84, penalties decline, 4th down.
I take that back, Asante. It's called on Roddy White, the first-round pick out of UAB.
I was going to, Jim, my first thought was they got him covered. They do not go for the fake. There's a little arm jostling. It's pretty tight both ways. Asante Samuels, he actually gave the first push, but Roddy White stuck his arm out. I said early in the game, when you extend your arms as a receiver and make contact, you're going to draw the flag.
Just when they thought a major step-off might jumpstart the Falcons here in the 3rd quarter, called the other way. White with a chance to run this one. But the 3rd wave is there to take him down. Mario Williams. Tonight on 60 Minutes, one family has made billions with NASCAR. So why aren't they satisfied? You can find out on 60 Minutes, TV's #1 news magazine, tonight here on CBS, America's most watched network.
I guess it's just never enough money. But Jim, let's go back to how we started the game. Really, you talk about New England. We said one of the key points, can they control this game on the offensive side? They have done that. They have put the pressure back on Atlanta. And now New England's defense, it comes out every series, it's refreshed and ready to go.
It's Dillon sidestepping one tackle before Williams runs him down. Well, you're talking about controlling the game, and when Tom Brady last night was talking about all the resiliency that you have to have, like they did in Pittsburgh coming off a loss to Carolina. Got a Falcon player down. Hartwell is down. Brady talked about how we need to run the ball to control the game. And they have run the ball the best they've run it this season.
Absolutely. It's amazing. The tight ends, the misdirection. You catch the defense by surprise when you run it. We break this football games. We do it all the time. It's this. It's no turnovers. And it always comes back to one thing. 20 years later, or 25 years later when I started, it's about who's the most physical. When you win the physical battle, it allows you to do all the little things that make it look like you're playing great that day. So the Patriots offensive line, that's where the credit goes to.
Boy, Hartwell having a real hard time.
A little hard to tell what it is.
Mike Reese has come in for him. 2nd down and 6. New England owning this quarter. With the branch. And he is collared at the 37 by Jason Webster.
It's just another way. We talked about Deion Branch, and we talked to him last night, and he said they're going to move him around, do a couple different things today, or different ways to show him on offense to get him the football. They bring in 2 tight ends, they put them both to one side, and Tom Brady goes, oh, there's single coverage to Deion Branch. They throw it to him, and it's worked well so far today.
5 catches, including the big one, 51 yards. It set up the Patriots' first touchdown. Brady looking his way again, and that's good for the first. Brady, by the way, with a perfect quarterback rating to this point, and he's over 300 yards.
Yeah, his numbers are pretty. We saw, 2 weeks ago, doesn't seem like that long. We saw the 12 for 12 in the second half, and this one is on the pace to be a lot better than that. He is really throwing it well. It's like he said to you, Jim, it's indoors. Of course, he's on a really good football team, but Tom Brady, always underrated as a thrower. Put him in this kind of environment, he even throws it better.
Another time to Branch. 3 straight plays. They are just going right at Jason Webster. Going to give us that kind of room? We're just going to toss it off over there to the side to Deion.
Another uncalled play just between the quarterback and the wide receiver. This is not easy. Look at the space. and how quick Tom Brady has to get it in his hand and get rid of it right on target. And Deion Branch falls forward.
Deion said this was almost like a Super Bowl week for him with all the family and friends down here in Georgia, the native. Got 25 tickets to the game. Still not enough. Corey Dillon, they come back with Dillon, and he's got the first. Running behind Daniel Graham.
Yeah, you got to remember, we talk about Deion Branch, last year's Super Bowl MVP. You know what's different for him this year? He's coming into games and teams are playing pass coverage to take him out of the game. That's a sign of respect. They know he's the best wide receiver, and he's learning to deal with it.
He told us he's doing two things differently this year. One, he's watching more film and he understands his opponent unlike any other year. And two, he's not eating as late as he used to. He feels better, in better shape. Here's Dillon again. He's getting 3-4 yards a clip every time minimum.
Of course, we were more impressed with he's not eating as late because we live on eating late.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't know any other way. Eating late and eating a lot.
Unfortunately, you're
led by our, of course, esteemed producer, Mr. Barrow.
Oh, no. And Mike Arnold, Mike Arnold, he's not afraid to rip it up, especially when it's free.
One of the great knife and fork guys around. 2nd down and 5 in the last minute of 3rd quarter. Brady, pass batted and picked off by Williams. Deflected by Ike Reese. Brady had hit his first 10 of the quarter. And then that one, thanks to the play really by Ike Reese, who got burned on an earlier touchdown in this quarter.
He did. That's right, Jim. And just like 2 weeks ago, the only way you could stop Tom Brady is to tip the ball at the line of scrimmage. And that's what the Falcons need. They needed their defense to get them back into this game.
Reese, who in the late 2nd quarter stages had that block in the back on what would have been a long punt return by Rossum, and then was beaten on the touchdown play to Watson. Now makes a much needed play for the Falcons with the interception near midfield. Schaub, Crumpler, 25-yard line of the Patriots. He was looking first option over to Jenkins, who was covered by Starks.
Let's look at it. Up top, it's an out and up. It's covered. Matt Schaub turns back, and he finds Algie Crumpler going right down the seam. Fake, it's not there. Turns the other side. Excellent execution by Matt Schaub.
Well, the quarter comes to a close. Patriots up 28-13. Now a message and a word from your local station. Hartwell has to be carted off the field. The Falcons now trying to get something going in this quarter. They had one team dominate each quarter. 1st and 3rd by the Patriots, the 2nd by the Falcons. And what a hit put on by Jarvis Green of Warwick Dunn for no gain.
Well, we talked about the start of this game, this New England defense, a lot of new faces. Jarvis Green, one of them. Haven't really said a lot about the linebackers so far today. They have kept the quarterback from getting outside the pocket a lot, but Jarvis Green looks like he's played pretty well for Richard Seymour.
2nd down and 10 from the 25. Schaub going to the end zone. And what a catch. Over the shoulder grab. Crumpler for the touchdown.
This is a case almost like we talked about earlier. It's just Algie Crumpler is just so much bigger than anybody that covers him. You just got to give him a chance to catch the football. Gus Scott, little out and up move. Gus Scott not fooled at all. Perfect throw by Matt Schaub. He threw a lot of those passes at Virginia while he was in college with Al Groh. and he throws it very well here to the Atlanta Falcons.
All set up by the interception. Crumpler says, hey, wait a minute. All these New England tight ends can't have all the fun. Not in my house. His second touchdown catch of the season. Algie Crumpler came to the Falcons in the same draft as Michael Vick. He's been Vick's favorite target over the last 5 years. Out of North Carolina, well, really in college he was more of a blocker than a receiver, but he's been something special. Michael Johnson to the 22.
Well, they didn't know what they had in college. That's the problem. Matt Schaub, almost like Tom Brady's pass to Ben Watson in the end zone for the touchdown. Same thought process. Send them down the inside edge of the field. It's a big tight end. Throw it up high. Even when they look like they're covered, they're not. And Matt Schaub, yeah, be excited because he knows that is a terrific throw and catch by him and Algie Crumpler.
Dillon for 2. Mike Reese with the play again. Let's go back down to Bonnie.
Well, Jim, Ed Hartwell, the starting middle linebacker for the Falcons, questionable with a right foot injury. The good news is, if there ever is with an injury, the guy who replaced him, Ike Reese, was the one who tipped the ball, came up with that big play that gave Atlanta a chance to score on that last possession.
Corey Dillon has his first 100-yard rushing performance of the season. 38th of his career. Out of an empty backfield, Brady on 2nd down and 8. Has Graham, and he has just been such a force today after the catch. He got away from Mike Reese, picked up 15. He's over 100.
When you get somebody involved in the game plan early, and that's what the New England Patriots did. They got Daniel Graham involved in the game with the screen pass early, so now he's invigorated. He catches the ball, and he's doing something with it after he catches it.
Tight ends combined, Graham and Watson, 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dillon for 2. Heath Brooking on the hit.
And that little pass to Daniel Graham, Jim, has quieted the crowd down. When you come back out, when you're at a place like this, the Falcons have just scored a touchdown. That first down is huge. It settles the defense down, and it quiets the crowd, and that way you don't have to deal with the crowd noise as much.
On 2nd and 8. Brady had to unload as he is knocked down by Rod Coleman. You know, this defensive front in passing situations, it's a monster unit, and they try to limit their snaps in the game. Talking about Brady Smith, Rod Coleman, who's in on this one, 75, and Patrick Kearney. They like to get them in something like 30 to 35 total snaps a game. They're all in here right now. Fresh and ready to tee off on 3rd and 8. Brady gets his protection, gets his tight end for the first, and a flag. And Watson takes 3 players to bring him down. What did you see? Did you see anything there, Phil?
Well, it was one-on-one. I think Ben Watson might have pushed off. It's a play I saw the San Diego Chargers run last week.
Pass interference, offense, 84. 3-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Ben Watson's going to be going to the inside. Watch as he goes up the field. He gets inside, he's going to fake it, and he's going to break it back out. Absolutely. Push both arms at the defender, and Williams backpedals.
Instead of the first down near midfield, it's 3rd and 18.
to get the crowd excited again.
And a flag. It might have been a Falcon across the line too quickly. Lavallee may have jumped the snap.
Offside, defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yep, it's really Lavallee, 90. He's inside. There he is. And it's just not a smart risk he's trying to take. The situation is totally on your side. That offsides penalty by Atlanta's defense. Now the Patriots are going, okay, 3rd and 18 to 3rd and 13, big difference. Now they'll try to pick up the 1st down.
Here comes the blitz. Brooking. Pass. Open man. It's Branch for the 1st. And a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, they got the rookie Mankins. Takes away the 19-yard pass play to Branch.
Think about this game. The tip pass turned it around. The Patriots ready to dig out of a hole that time. And Mankins, after a beautiful throw by Tom Brady. Number 70 in the middle. Look at that hand. Boy, Tom Brady can stay relaxed and throw the football down the field, I think, better than any quarterback in the National Football League.
He's had a 15-yard and a 19-yard completion wiped out, so they're going to run it with Patrick Pass, take what they can get, and he gets a lot back, but not nearly enough for the 1st. Carpenter in the secondary makes the hit after a run of 13. So now they'll have to punt with 10:42 to go in the game. Player slow to get up is Chris Cash.
Chris Cash had some week last week against the Minnesota Vikings and the week before.
You know, talking to Jim Mora on Friday, and at the time we did not know, of course, that Vic would not be playing here. But he talked about how important it is, like what the Patriots have done, the template that the Patriots have presented to the world, about it being a 53-man unit. And this, he wants it to be more than just Michael Vick and 52 other guys. We'll be right back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by TGI Fridays Restaurants. Everyone could use more Fridays. NikeGridiron.com. And by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Miller into punt. Atlanta trying to set up a return. Rawson runs away from it. Hobbs downs it 14-yard line. Chris Cash injured a moment ago. And the injury right here. Trying to reach out on Patrick Pass. So let's see what the inexperienced quarterback can do against the world champions. Down 8. 10.5 to play, and it's Duckett for 3 yards. Now later today, top racers from around the world roll in the Poconos in the grand finale of the Jeep King of the Mountain World Professional Mountain Bike Championships. That's coming up later today here on CBS. Well, Hartwell, he went in to the locker room with a cart and comes back out on crutches. 2nd and 7. Schaub trying to lead his team back. They were down 15. Got a touchdown to Kunkel on the last Sears. This one too high for Crumpler, but a flag is thrown.
Illegal contact, defense, number 26. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
What do you think of the play overall, Matt Schaub, today?
Oh, I think his play has been, it's been close to outstanding in my eyes, Jim. And the one thing he is finding the open guy deep down the field. And there's Eugene Wilson against Algie Crumpler. He said 260 pounds, and he is fast. So that is a tough assignment, especially when a receiver is releasing from the inside, because they can go anywhere, down the field or in or out. You don't have the sideline to help you.
Going long again. And that was Des White tangled up with Asani Samuel and no flag.
But just to go back to Matt Schaub, I think he has handled himself very well. He's been calm. I thought he was a little nervous to start the game, but nothing that was not unexpected. And he's made some big plays, and he's moved around, I think, quite well, too.
Talked about it before. He got all that experience when playing at Virginia for Al Groh. And the coordinator there, Bill Musgrave, a highly respected mind at the quarterback position.
Ex-NFL quarterback, has been to Jacksonville Jaguars, down with the Washington Redskins.
Second down and 10. They go with Duckett. And he gets away for the first down out to the 41. Well, that is such a disparity when you talk about the two sizes and two styles of backs that you have here with Warrick Dunn, and then you relieve him with T.J. Duckett.
Well, Jim, you got to know what you are. If you're Warrick Dunn, you can run around people, and if you're T.J. Duckett, you just got to know you're a big battering ram, and he doesn't try to fool you. He runs in there, runs hard, and because of that, he breaks the tackles and gets a big first down for Atlanta.
Big one inside in 9 minutes. We'll ride him again. And that battering ram gets to the 47, 46. Give him 5 yards. Warrick Dunn sitting out a couple of plays. He's had 15 attempts today. Second down, 5. With pressure from the outside. Schaub gets it away. What a magnificent tip by Starks. Taking it away from Roddy White.
Dwayne Starks was beat last week deep for some touchdowns. And I just reading the articles, he just says, look, it's over with. Not worried about it. Can't have a memory of it. You saw the left hand go on the back of the receiver. That is not a penalty. It's only a penalty if he puts his hand back there and makes the receiver move.
Starks, he won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens and then spent the last 3 years out in Arizona. Third down, and they've got Dunn back in the game. Tries to help out, picks up Colvin on the blitz. Schaub on the run. Can he run for the first? He dives, he has it. Mike Wright was giving chase.
I really believe this. If Michael Vick was in the game, he would have not have gotten outside of that defense, because they would be so cognizant of his speed, they wouldn't let him out there.
Look at this, Phil. Look where they're going to mark the ball.
Oh, he stepped out of bounds about 4 yards short.
At the 47. No, I don't know.
If this is a play you can't challenge.
Will they risk the possible loss of a timeout? They have 3, because otherwise it's 4th down.
Well, what the Atlanta Falcons should do is take the penalty, delay a game to give them a chance. Here we go. Because they're at midfield, so punting the ball, it's not that urgent. Oh, it's not even close.
They come out with the red flag. They are going to challenge it.
Just from what I saw on that replay, it did not even look close. But, Jim, you understand? There was no reason for Atlanta to punt it. Stand there, take a delay game until you see replays, until you really know for sure, because you're going to punt on the inside the 20 regardless if you back up 5 or 10 yards.
You see Michael Vick out on the field mixing it up. He's in this game.
There is no challenge on the play. The runner was ruled to step out of bounds. Therefore, the play cannot be challenged. 4th down.
Not a challengeable play, I guess, because once they say he's out, there's a whistle and the play's dead.
Good point. That's right. Once they say you've stepped out, the play is dead. It's like when you get, first off, the right foot, not even close.
Wow.
But it's like a quarterback who gets sacked and he fumbles, but they blow the whistle, the play is dead.
Now Belichick wanting an explanation.
Well, that's a good job by the officials and a good job by Terry McCauley explaining. It's right. If the official sees a guy step out of bounds, they blow the whistle. The play is over. Even though
there really wasn't anyone close to Schaub that would have influenced whether or not he got that extra 4 or 5 yards, because he was just diving and he had launched himself past the first down yardage to begin with. Woodround waves and makes the catch at the 14. 39-yard boot. Reattach the challenge flag. They're stirred up in Atlanta as Schaub is ruled out of bounds. New England ball. So New England, midway through the 4th quarter, begins this series at the 14, leading by 8. And Dillon for a yard. That's all. Dillon over 100, now 106. Just outside of 7 minutes to go at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, and New England led at one time in this half, 28-13. I'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching Tennessee and Houston, and the Falcons going today without Michael Vick. Matt Schaub at quarterback has thrown a couple of touchdowns, but Brady has thrown 3, including one to this guy, Daniel Graham, who's over 100 yards on the day in receiving. But a 3rd and 4 coming up for the Patriots.
Every first down crucial. 6:44. And the fact that the Atlanta Falcons are down by 8 points. They know they got to score, and if they do not make a 2-point conversion, they need one more possession after that. That's why it makes this 3rd down extremely huge. Is that a good word, extremely huge?
I buy it. It's good by me, partner. 3rd down and 4, because you're right on. Here comes the pressure. Brady gets the pass away and almost run down by Gibbons. And no flags. So they'll have to punt.
Tom Brady is under pressure, but still steps up and puts his football right on target down the field. Good job by D'Angelo Hall and Allen Rossum right on the receiver.
Rod Coleman was rushing the quarterback. They only took a minute 40 seconds off the clock with 3 downs and out. Rossum standing back at his 35. There was some heat. Rossum again with the fair catch, and he had, for the 2nd time in this game, he had running lanes, misjudging it.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Universal Pictures' Doom, in theaters October 21st, and by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 40.
We're back in Atlanta. Coming up, the Subway postgame show with Greg and Dan, Shannon and Boomer. All the scores and highlights, postgame interviews coming up after the game. Schaub, first down, got Jenkins. And Jenkins steps out at the 44. That's the second time today they've hooked up for 18 yards.
Well, Matt Schaub, I think, has played. Jim, we talked about it. He's played well. He's moved around. He's thrown the football down the field. As Jim Morris said to me on Friday, he goes, if Matt Schaub does play, he goes, hey, Phil, you're going to be impressed. Second-year quarterback. It's been an impressive outing by him.
2 touchdowns and no turnovers for Schaub, who hands it to Dunn, who goes low to the 38. Gain of 6. And let me remind everyone that next week's a doubleheader week on CBS. Jacksonville, Pittsburgh for many of you early, plus Miami, Tampa, Cincy, Tennessee. Cleveland's at Baltimore, and late, most of the nation. We'll see New England at Denver. It all gets started at noon Eastern with Greg and Dan, Shannon and Boomer. The NFL today, next week, doubleheader. We'll be following the Patriots out to the Mile High City for their battle with the Broncos. 2nd down and 4 with 5 minutes left. Time for Schaub. Pass too high and incomplete. Almost picked off the turf by Samuel.
That's probably his worst decision of the day. And sometimes you just get addicted to throwing to a receiver. Algie Crumpler, he's made tough catches. He's been wide open. And I know they go on the theory, too. If he's covered, still throw it. He'll get it. But this time he is not. Well, that's a good job by Eugene Wilson going underneath, looking for the interception.
3rd down and 4. Need a touchdown and a 2 to tie it. They're going to try to get it on the ground. All kinds of room. And Warwick Dunn steps out with the first at the 31. Brian Finneran and Crumpler combined to open up the left side for 8.
If they would not have gotten that first down, I think they would have gone for it on 4th down. That's why they run it. You run it for 2 reasons. In case you don't make it, it makes it a much easier 4th down conversion. But they caught the New England Patriots guessing pass. They were on the blitz, and they came outside, and there were no defenders there.
Fascinating game. All first quarter to New England, all second quarter Atlanta, all third quarter New England, and all fourth quarter to this point, Falcons.
Sign a good two good teams. You can't dominate them all the time.
That's the middle and almost taken away by Starks. Jenkins was the target and was just inches behind him, though. And it fed right into the arms of Dwayne Starks. Couldn't quite pull it off.
The defensive backs are getting in rhythm. Matt Schaub looks left. He goes right. But they have seen these type of routes inside. Michael Jenkins. These inside routes. The little moves. And Dwayne Starks plays it perfectly. Just can't make the tough catch.
2nd down and 10 from the New England 31. Cross him up with the draw. Outside he goes. Warwick Dunn. Griffith trying to shield him. And Griffith did enough to get Dunn free to the outside for 12 yards and another first down.
Boy, Warwick Dunn is just so. He's the running back like Tom Brady is a quarterback. He stays relaxed. Just right here, takes his time, doesn't commit to just flying outside, makes the defense stop again. Just watch his footwork. And look at the size of those legs. They are abnormally big legs for, I guess you could say, a shorter running back.
So from the 19, back to Dunn. Right into the arms of Monty Beisel. Chad Brown. There's the Falcons owner, the great gentleman Arthur Blank, who has brought such a winning spirit to this franchise, to this city. Came in and got the city behind the Falcons, committed to doing whatever it takes, trying to win a championship.
He built the best athletic facility I've ever seen, ever. College, pros. He's behind the players. You can sense it when you're here. It's one of the reasons why they're doing well.
2nd and 6. To the end zone, open. Des White. Did he have it long enough. Yes. Touchdown.
Two-point conversion. And we're going to see, did Des White have that football long enough? Does he catch it? Top of your screen, going to fake it inside. Oh, nice move. Breaks it back out. Catches it. One foot on the ground. Two. There is movement.
Now the all-important 2 to tie. That look good enough to you? Would that be something, if you were on the New England side, you'd want to review? Or you think...
I'd challenge it. Bill Belichick all the way down the field has now put the red, he's got the flag out.
There he goes. He just called timeout. He called timeout on the sideline. He's got the red flag in his hand. Boy, he waited till just a fraction before the ball was snapped.
Doesn't look like he's going to challenge, but what they wanted to do is to see the formation and the thought process that the Atlanta Falcons were going to come out in for this two-point conversion. Clean catch, has possession, 1 foot. Definitely gets both feet on the ground. And always the rule for possession for a receiver.
Now, I was watching Belichick down the sideline, and he was trying to get to the red flag and also try to get the red flag in time before the ball was snapped, and then he still hasn't said he's going to challenge it.
I'm sure he was waiting to gather information from coaches above or to see a replay on the screen.
Okay, so the Falcons about to break huddle.
But I'll say this, if he does challenge it, I don't think it would be reversed. It was called a touchdown on the field. It was close. Both feet were on the ground, plus a little bit of movement after that.
No challenge for the tie. To Finneran, and he makes the grab. What a tough catch. The game is tied at 28. Fourth quarter points by the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, you know, there was a lot of pressure, I thought, today on Matt Schaub because he's replacing Mike Vick. And that's, Jim, you said, that's all you hear when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons. And also the wide receivers, when they come up, given the chance to really go down the field and work defensive backs. And look at that Atlanta sideline after the two-point conversion.
Greg Knapp, offensive coordinator Michael Vick, Arthur Blank celebrating on as this team behind the inexperienced quarterback has rallied from 15 down in the fourth quarter to tie the champions.
The Patriots have challenged the wide receivers of the Atlanta Falcons and the young quarterback, and they came up and did their job. They dared them to throw it down the field, and they did.
Michael Johnson, room down the sideline, and that's Kanan, the kicker, who finally brings him to a stop after a 30-yard run back. Of course, Brady again with all kinds of time. Steelers left him too much time a couple of weeks ago.
Well, let's go back and look at the touchdown. Matt Schaub looking left. Nobody open. Goes all the way across the field and finds Des White in the right corner of the end zone for a second-year quarterback, making his first start this year. What a job. What poise.
Corey Dillon is not in as Tom Brady looking for his 19th game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime. Dillon, we saw him hobbling on the sideline. Patrick pass in the backfield. Whistle. And there is a flag at the line of scrimmage.
False start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's now the second false start of the game by the Patriots. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, cold case, and the true story of the hunt for the BTK killer tonight on America's most watched network. Dillon back in. On 1st and 15, Brady. Wide open man for the first and a flag. Back at the line of scrimmage in the area of offensive holding.
Holding. Offense. Number 61. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty of the day against New England.
Stephen Neal on the best inside pass rusher for the Falcons, Rod Coleman. The change of direction by Rod Coleman created the holding penalty on Neal.
Now it's 1st and 25. Atlanta looking for a timeout. They get it. Keon Carpenter trying to get some attention and time, and that's the first Falcon timeout. Okay, at the end of the first half, for those of you who have just joined us, the Patriots got shut down just before the end of the first half. Gave the Falcons a chance. Vrabel, before a long field goal try, called a timeout. The kick was on its way. It was no good from 58 yards by the punter. And then converted kicker Michael Kanan. So he got another try from 58, and he delivered the longest field goal of the season in the league. And those 3 points, quite large at the moment. Adam Vinatieri. He won the last road game for the Patriots with a field goal with a second to go at Pittsburgh. Kearney across. Brady fires and incomplete. Going for Givens. Patrick Kearney and Tom Ashworth. It's going to be one of the two.
The snap. Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 97, went into the neutral zone, causing a false start by the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Patrick Kearney.
Well, he says Tom Ashworth jumped. Oh, there was the flinch. I saw it. Well, it's not much, but that is a penalty.
It goes the other way, so Patriots 1st and 20. 3:36 remaining.
You know, all these are big moments, Jim. 5-yard penalties. The Falcons using a timeout.
Look at Corey Dillon going inside.
Yep, we saw him limping on the sideline.
Then he came in for the second snap of this series, only to go back out and now being treated inside the locker room. Lobbing it up for Branch, and that's got to be a flag. Allen Rossum.
Pass interference, defense, number 20. Automatic, first down.
Boy, that is a big one.
Tom Brady is going to be one sore man tomorrow. He has taken some big-time hits. Rod Coleman right in his face. He hangs in there. And Deion Branch, look, he's behind the defenders. It's hard to be chasing the receiver, knowing the football's coming, and not panic and hit him early.
That's a 30-yard penalty. Remember, before the jump by Kearney, there was a 1st and 25, and the Patriots escaped that. Patrick pass, knocked back. Loss of 2. Hit by Ike Reese. And just Jonathan Babineau.
Well, this is so not quite the desperate situation or late in the game, but it reminds you so much of the Pittsburgh game 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Tom Brady's just said we were so resilient, and that would sum it up today if he finds a way to somehow pull this out.
On 2nd and 12, Brady flings it quickly. Graham. No one's going to get him with the first hit today. And he's got it about the line we figured for Vinatieri if they had to try the long range kick.
Yeah, if they don't gain any yards, would you kick the field goal to try to win it, knowing if you missed it?
There's so much time left if you miss it.
Time left in 20, 30 yards. The Falcons would get another chance to kick a game winner.
3rd down and 4.
No blitz.
Right side, complete. Branch, 1st down. Setting up for another Vinatieri game, perhaps. 2-minute warning in Atlanta. Adam Vinatieri. As calm as you can imagine. 15 straight field goal attempts is made. 4th quarter or overtime. And it looks like the Patriots on their way to setting it up for him again. 1st down from the 29 of Atlanta. Patrick pass gets some freedom. Patrick Kearney has to run after him. And look at him go. In for Corey Dillon, and pass, who's already rushed for a score today, picks up 15 yards.
A little misdirection by the Patriots. They fake the run left. Pass goes, they fake the run right, I should say, and then he goes right. It catches the defense. Really good job of blocking inside. Wow. And they open up a big hole, and now everything is in the Patriots' favor.
Adam Vinatieri with 18 career winning kicks. Super Bowl in New Orleans from 48. The one in Houston from 41. Oh, and by the way, just 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh. Robert Kraft and the Patriot contingent. Arthur Blank hoping somehow they can escape from this. With 1:52 to go and each team with 1 timeout. Falcons just burned 1. Pass. And that's only for a yard, but middle of the field. And the last timeout called by Atlanta. First score of the game came from Patrick pass, 6 yards out. Graham, hard run and 45-yard reception for a score. Griffiths, first points for Falcons, 14-7. Peterson, and then the punter from 58. Halftime, 14-13 New England. Second play, second half, Watson from 33. Bethel Johnson's first play on offense, 55-yard score. Crumpler hauls one in from Schaub, who then hits Des White and the 2 to Finneran to tie the game at 28. Schaub with 3 touchdown passes plus the 2-point conversion. Those 4 scoring plays, if you will, to 4 different receivers.
I am waiting for the day when a team is in a situation like this they let the other team score because that will give them the best chance to tie it up and give them a chance to win the game.
I totally agree. Just let them go in. You got no chance this way if you think that Vinatieri's the automatic, if you know the history here.
If it was inside the 10, the 5- and 6-yard line, I would do it. And, you know, I see it in games. I saw it in college football last night. When you get to a certain situation, you are basing the whole game on the fact that you're going to block almost what amounts to an extra point.
Yep, I agree. Just stand there and let them run to the end zone.
It would take courage, I'll tell you that too. You got to be strong, and you just got to know that's going to give you the best chance.
Well, the Falcons are out of timeouts.
Falcons had the Patriots. They had this game in a tremendous situation. The penalty by Allen Rossum on the long throw from Tom Brady was what turned it around.
So Brady takes it right to the dead center of the field. It'll set up Vinatieri from just inside of 30 yards, and they'll be able to kick it somewhere around 20 seconds on the game clock.
And the Patriots are going to wait, let the game clock go down to 1 second, call a timeout. And the Falcons using that timeout when they were disorganized. Jim, we said it. All that stuff is big. It always comes back in these games, especially when you have good football teams going against each other.
Very start of this drive at the other end of the field when it was 1st and 25. Keon Carpenter was trying to find an official to get a timeout. Boy, would they have loved to have had that one back. By the way, Corey Dillon's running back onto the field on the sideline, that is, for the Patriots to be an eyewitness to this kick for Vinatieri as New England utilized its last timeout. There's Corey Dillon, his first 100-yard performance of the season.
What a game. A lot of emotions. I think you said it, just back and forth. And that is a sign of two good football teams. You know, people always ask me, well, how can a team do so well in the first half and not do it in the second? Well, when you get a lot of talent and you fight and you go against each other, you are just not going to dominate the opposition all the time.
When you talk about resiliency, the Patriots have not lost back-to-back games since 2002. This could be a 29-yard drive for the lead with 20 seconds left. Adam Vinatieri for the lead, and the kick is good. Was there ever a doubt?
Well, I wasn't even going to say it because we did witness a miss last week against the San Diego Chargers. Of course, that was in I think the first quarter.
First quarter.
Yeah. If there was ever any doubt about Adam Vinatieri, this guy is going to go to the Hall of Fame.
He has to be.
There's no doubt. Tom Brady, Adam Vinatieri, Bill Belichick, if they stop right now, they're all going to the Hall of Fame.
You know, Rodney Harrison has to get strong consideration.
Absolutely. Mike Vick watching the field goal. They all kind of know what's going to happen.
Could be Brady's 19th game-winning drive at the end of his career, and Vinatieri's 19th game winner off the right leg. Subway postgame shows coming up with all the recaps from the early action on Week 5. Resiliency. That was the word that Tom Brady tossed around last night in his meetings with us.
2-2. We keep drawing conclusions. It's a long way to go.
Says we don't know exactly who we are. We haven't identified who we are at this point. It's Allen Rossum.
What he's done in his career. Tom Brady had made a good point. Wait till about Thanksgiving. Then you got lots of evidence. Then you can come up with something that's concrete about what's going on in this league.
I pointed out that the years that they've won the Super Bowl, they started out through 4 weeks 1-3, won in New Orleans, 2-2, won the Super Bowl in Houston, 4-0 last year. Point is, they've had years where they were 2-2 like they were coming into this, or worse, and won the big prize.
Yeah, but Jim, come on, we got to know the final answer now. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Well, let's let them play a game before we decide that.
Rossum had run up Trying to poach a bit, but then has to go back to receive it. Got some room to the outside. Flag is thrown. Rossum dances out at the 40 with 6 seconds, but flag back at the 20.
During return, holding, receiving team, number 98. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they need one of those famous Falcon Hail Mary plays. I was here for one years ago, back in '91. Billy Joe Tolliver to Michael Haynes on the last play of the game against the 49ers. Some might remember what was called the Big Ben play. Bartkowski to Alfred Jackson back in '78. The ball ended up in the hands of Billy White Shoes Johnson to also win on the last play of the game. They're going to have to take some crazy play, even crazier, back here at the 12-yard line. 6 seconds.
Well,
that's it.
Your only hope, pass interference to give you one more play. Billy Joe Tolliver and Steve Bartkowski, they might be able to, about the only two I know that could throw it about 80 yards to get it to the end zone.
One player rushing, Jarvis Green. Schaub's going to go short. Jenkins, lateral, Roddy White. Needs some help. Got to get in the hands of someone. Only a lineman back there, and the game is over. Bill Belichick, first time he's smiled in a week.
He knows. You could sense it talking to the Patriots yesterday. The pressure they felt. They knew they didn't want to go 2-3, going to Denver next week. They did it all. Tom Brady, some players, they spoke out this week a little bit, and they were going to do whatever it took to get their team fired up. They were, and they came down here and beat a good Atlanta Falcons football team. Ed Schaub, tremendous day, I think, by him. Tremendous.
This Brady and Vinatieri show is a pretty good road show, isn't it? Winning at Pittsburgh, winning at Atlanta. And they improved to 3-2, and the Falcons fall to that exact same record. Brady today, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. What a performance by Matt Schaub, throwing for 3 plus a 2-point conversion, no turnovers.
He held his end up, Jim. Today, the Atlanta Falcons defense didn't make enough happen by stopping them or making enough plays to give the Falcons the chances they needed to win.
Let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie.
Tom Brady, after that whooping San Diego gave you last weekend, how big is this win for your team?
Well, we certainly needed it. I mean, we've had a lot of guys banged up, and you know, we held on. I wish we'd have played a little bit better on offense, but 31 points. You know, it was a tough team and a tough dome, so glad we won.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
Well, that offense not all that bad. You throw it for 350 and you get Dillon over 100.
What expectations does he have?
I don't know if it's going to be better than that next week. I'm looking forward to seeing it in Denver. Brady, Vinatieri, Belichick, and the Patriots. We've seen it so many times before. They do it again in Atlanta. Subway postgame show coming up next.